Wilhelm the Magnificent meets his first day as a carny in search of mermaids, with his newly adopted gnome stepchild tagging along. The search is fruitless, but he does learn a local lord is offering a reward for mermaid hide. They return to the circus and start rehearsing for the big show. Showtime rolls around, and Wilhelm performs his first official act for the circus. After a confusing and slightly impressive performance, he goes to talk with Frederick, and together they come up with a scheme to trick the local lord by making fake mermaid hide. But before he can set out, the local lord summons him. The lord informs him that Frederick has defiled his wife and hires Wilhelm to arrest him. Wilhelm waits till the dead of night and then attempts to capture Frederick. But sadly, Frederick awakens and manages to horribly murder poor Wilhelm the Magnificent. No doubt if Death had fleshy weaknesses like emotions, he would be feeling rather pleased with his impressive recent body count. The next to challenge Death is Frank Kershaw, aka Cranky Fists, who starts his adventure in Wodheim. He was recently released from prison in Solstice and is looking to make a new beginning in his old ways. He finds an inn called the Weary Woodsman and convinces Clayton, the owner, to accept him as an investor. Next he goes to check out a competing inn, and by that we mean sneaking in the back, beating the staff into unconsciousness and setting it to fire. The kitchen fire achieves the desired effect, and Frank decides to use it as a motivator to get local dwarven business owners to hire him as protection, but a local dwarf asks him for a demonstration. Frank finds a burly woodsman to assault, but is no match for the outdoorsman and soon finds himself in the dirt. But there is more than one way to skin a cat. Frank hires some youths to go trash the dwarf's shop. The next day the dwarf comes round and hires Frank, and his first task is to track down and beat up the youths, which he readily does. Next, Frank tracks down a brothel where he picks a fight. His fighting skills impress the brothel owner, and he offers Frank the job of bouncer. And so we take our leave of Frank. Will he become the next crime kingpin of Wodheim, or die in the gutter and fade into obscurity? Find out next time on Dicing with Death.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dicing with Death, which has been a long time coming. I don't know how long it's been.
Weeks.
Feels like months.
I was on vacation, and then you stopped sleeping.
And that about did it.
Yeah, that sums us up.
Yeah. So how's it going, Ryan?
It's going well. It's ungodly hot out there right now. I think it hit like 114 today, which is like 40 degrees Celsius or something like that.
I did not realize that it got hot in Seattle or in Washington.
Eastern Washington. Once you're on the other side of those mountains, it's a desert.
Oh my God. That sounds brutal.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you're staying inside, keeping cool.
Yeah, I'm certainly not streaming from the parking lot.
Jesus, 114. What's the humidity like?
It's pretty dry.
That's nice. Well, I didn't get to watch the intro, so I kind of know where I am, but I'm going to let you just take it, and I'll fill in the details in the back of my mind as we go.
Yeah, and you may also be suffering from a little bit of memory loss from...
I just didn't form any new memories in the last week or so. All the previous ones are still intact.
How is that going to bode for misclicks and
Misclicks.
I guess you don't need to remember Gems of Power, do you?
No, especially since
that was like the beginning of the stream, wasn't it?
Yeah, Gems of Power was like 11 hours in, and then misclicks was another. I did misclicks at 7 a.m., so that would be 19 hours in was misclicks. So those were easy.
So you remember none of it because you never slept.
I remember those because your brain's still making memories at that point. It's once you hit the 24 hours without sleep that your memory creation starts to get really fuzzy.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty
Almost
good.
Like you have amnesia.
Oh.
So Frank, Cranky Fists. He's got a last name, doesn't he? Kershaw.
Yes.
You are sleeping in your bed on the second floor of the Weary Woodsman, the northern edge of Wodheim.
Mm-hmm.
From your window, you can see evergreen trees poking up over the wall of the city. Sounds of tweeting birds annoys you to no end. It's like
fucking birds.
It's like noon. What are they even doing up? All right, you sit up in your bed. Wipe some spittle from your crusty face.
Mm-hmm.
Your mouth still tastes like beer. You look to the table beside your bed and see 2 shiny new golden coins on it from the night before.
It's all coming back to me now. I was at the brothel, made some money, got hired as a bouncer. Well, you can make some decent coin here. Let's see. I do forget the interest rate that I was charging. What's his name? The owner of this tavern.
Did you write it down? You saw him jot something in his ledger.
Yes. Innkeeper owes 7 gold per month plus 70 gold at the end. Weary Woodsman, Clayton the innkeeper, Frank the cook, and Mars the waitress. Mars? It's not Mars.
Mars is the fat one that you're trying to get fired.
Okay.
So,
wobbly raccoon.
First question: does Frank get out of bed, or does he lay there being annoyed by the birds all day long? Tweet, 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 tweet.
This is the middle afternoon. Yeah, we're gonna get out of bed.
You can hear the clanging of glasses and customers downstairs. The walls aren't very thick.
Okay. I bumble downstairs and look about for one of the waitresses.
You see Mars in there bringing a plate full of beers to a group of men sitting beside the fire. There's a single fireplace on the far side of the room, the back end of the inn.
Mm-hmm.
So you're coming down the staircase and you see it off to your right against the far wall. There are a bunch of tables strewn about in the middle of the public room and a bar across from you.
Okay.
There's only maybe a half dozen clients at this time, but
there's a fire going in the middle of the day?
No.
Okay.
Empty fireplace.
Okay.
Just some ash from the night before.
Cool. I wave her over, order a plate of bacon and beans with some eggs on the side.
He delivers the beers and then goes to the kitchen. Takes a minute or two before you can flag her down.
All right.
Yeah.
I surveyed the room. Tell me about these people that have ordered beers.
Roll a perception check. There are 3 of them.
Oh, God. 7 perception, that's right. Frank is not the most perceptive of the people.
Yeah. 3 dudes. One's a little smaller than the others. They're wearing clean but plain clothes. Burlap is the fashion of the time. So.
Burlap is the fashion of the time.
So neutral colors to match the burlap.
Okay.
Greens and One of the larger men has a particularly flamboyant blue cloak.
Huh.
Quite a statement against the burlap.
I'll keep an eye on the blue-cloaked guy. I'm just gonna... Let's see, what do we want to do? I want
There
to
are a
keep
few
my...
other patrons besides this group, but all sitting by themselves. A
I
couple
will-
look like working folk coming in for their lunch.
I want to keep my job at the brothel. That's an easy source of money.
And experience. You can add 2 XP if you'd like.
Every day?
Maybe an XP for every gold. Actually, that's not... No, not from the brothel. Never mind. Damn it. Gotta beat people up. But the extortion money, I'll start
Okay.
experience for.
So, who else can I extort? I should go talk to the dwarf's friend. No, I told them to come after me, right? I don't need to seek them out. They should...
Yes, you were like, I'm Frank. I'm at the Weary Woodsman.
Right.
Like, that's an inn. You were like, yeah, you should come find me.
Yeah. Okay.
And you had some spiel about, I don't even know, paying other people to do things for you.
Yeah. It all made sense.
You had
at the
your
time.
own house. You'd have to clean up after yourself.
Right. I mean, all the super wealthy people live out of their own hotels. My character's thinking about being Donald Trump. So I would like to kind of just go about my day for a couple of days, just doing my routine that I've set up, waiting to hear back from the dwarf or any of his dwarven friends. I want to give them a week to get in touch with me.
Okay, well, I don't know if we'll make it that far.
Yeah,
So
but
can start counting down the days.
I'm not going to do
Do
anything
you
too
hang out-
ambitious for a little while.
Do you sit in the common room in the afternoon? What does Frank do with his time?
That doesn't have too much time, but he'll sit here and hang out.
I mean, it's summer. You've got hours before sundown.
I will stroll around town and just kind of explore the city. Walk through here, walk through there, stop at this little ale shop, have a little bit of ale here, walk over there, do a little bit of that, you know.
Yeah, there are quite a few little ale shops
Yeah.
and taverns. Most of them don't have inns attached, like the Weary Woodsman, but
Go find some nice microbrews.
yeah. Any questions you have about the city? So let's see. I mean, a couple of hours you can cross the city. You walk that far?
Yeah, I just want to make sure I have enough time to get to the east wall
Totally
Before-
enough to scale.
before work. So I'll just kind of stretch my legs, look around the city, and then I will head to the east wall early and lounge.
So it's like a less than 10-minute walk, maybe a 10-minute walk to the east wall. Not a huge city.
Okay, yeah, so I'll just hang out for a while and then start
Maybe a little, yeah.
make my
On
way to the
order.
east wall and lounge about early in my shift.
Okay. Give up 3 copper for drinks.
Okay.
So which route do you take? I think the way that you got to the east wall before was cutting around the outside of the town, was sort of crossing over into that northeastern district where you beat up those children.
Yeah, I think this time I will go
Youths,
to the
as the recap
bridge,
called them.
then to the tree, and then from the tree to the east wall.
Yeah. But has Frank seen the great tree of Woodheim before? I can't recall.
Yes.
Yes, he has.
Yes, he
Okay.
has.
Yeah. Still an impressive sight, nonetheless. The tower is several hundred feet tall, several hundred feet high.
Mhm.
And the roots of it sort of spread out, forming a little gazebo beneath that's charred and missing a huge chunk, but the tree still stands strong. around the trees, little market set up. Merchants peddling their wares out on beneath canopies and on blankets. And there's a ring of brew shops and taverns and eating establishments surrounding the tree.
Okay.
And so you head east eventually. Probably stop for a drink, make your way east. You find yourself meandering into the eastern district quite a bit early. District side of town. It's maybe a mile or so in diameter, so.
The city?
Yeah, pretty quick getting around.
Yeah. I will at some point make an attempt to find a really good late night burrito place. If such things exist.
I don't think burritos exist.
Alright, well then a late night, I don't know, some sort of wrappable food that you can walk around with place.
Rabbit on a stick?
Sure, rabbit on a stick. At some point I would like to make an effort to find like a good late night food place that I can just pick up food and walk out with.
Yeah. The East Wall does not serve food. Handsome Hans insists it's a public health risk.
A public health risk? Says the owner of a brothel?
Serving food in his establishment is a public health risk.
Okay.
But you think the night before you saw some street vendors still out and about, still open for business around the tree.
Okay, it's a good thing to know. Yeah.
So you find yourself a little bit before sunset against the east wall of town. It's a pretty rundown neighborhood. Most of these buildings are abandoned or little shacks, storage and whatnot. So it's actually pretty quiet.
Okay.
Two-story building up against the wall is unmarked, but you know it as the east wall by the red lantern hanging in one of the second-story windows.
Cool. I head on in, nice and early.
You enter the small tavern room. Handsome Hans is across the room arguing with one of the girls. There's a couple of clients hanging around, but it seems pretty slow.
Okay. I kind of poke around and go find a nice, comfortable spot to sit and enjoy myself, and I'll start looking menacing as the sun goes down.
Yeah. How does Frank spend his shift? Like, do you sit down and blend in amongst the customers? Are you standing menacingly by the door?
Once my shift comes, I will sit at a table facing the door, but still with a. Actually, I'm gonna doodle on your map a little bit down here at the bottom.
Glass.
So I don't know what the inn looks like or the common room looks like, but I'm just gonna. Here's the door. And here's like some sort of common room area. Maybe this is a staircase that goes up. I don't know. I would like to sit somewhere like over here, so I have a view of the door, but I can also see the staircase and any pleasantries that are going on.
Yeah. So the room is more long and rectangular, and there are some rooms in the front. Whoops, you deleted it.
Oh, well, you said long and
That's gonna
rectangular. I
be
thought you
on
were
top.
gonna.
Can you undo? Or not?
No, it cannot be done.
Cannot be done.
Long and rectangular.
Oh.
Like deep or wide?
That's fine.
But I mean, is the door up here or is the door over here?
Second one. Let me get a pen that I can. Okay. Yeah. Got a staircase like that, and then there's like rooms beneath the staircase.
The staircase goes down? Oh, I see what you mean.
The staircase goes up,
Yeah.
and then there's like a back door here. kitchen off to the side.
That doesn't do food.
And so, what's that?
That doesn't do food. Just as drinks?
Yeah, a little bar area.
Okay.
And Hans's office.
Okay, then I would like to take position somewhere over here. I might as well take the corner spot, I guess.
Yeah, so you're sort of hidden from people as they enter, sitting down.
Yeah, that way I can keep an eye on anyone that might be causing trouble anywhere. But to be honest, Frank is going to spend most of his time not looking for trouble and just kind of enjoying the sights and sounds of the east wall.
Do you drink your fill on duty?
Oh, yeah, Frank, of course. I mean, he doesn't drink with the objective to get drunk, but, you know, he doesn't want to have his glass empty at any point in time.
Yeah, you had negotiated free beer, so I'm just wondering how far you take that.
Oh, it just, you know, if I have an 8-hour shift, I'll probably end up having five or six beers.
Yeah. All right.
If I recall correctly, Frank is kind of a bigger guy. Well, he's not that big. Okay. 6'2", 230.
Oh,
That's quite reasonable. Well, I mean, it's big,
fairly
but it's
intimidating. Enough. I mean,
yeah.
You're usually the biggest guy in the room. So actually, like your very first hour, you're sitting down having a drink, not paying all that much attention, and you roll a perception check.
$11.
You hear a shout of insults. "You filthy cur! I saw her first!" And you look up to see two men across the room. A table goes flying, and they exchange blows.
I
One takes a punch to the gut.
get myself out of my chair slowly and just start moving in their direction.
And proceeds to retaliate with a punch to the wall. You hear a horrible snap that you would recognize as the sound of bones breaking.
All right.
Roll initiative.
Roll initiative? Yeah, that's all I want to do. D10 plus 3. 13. Frank gets there last in the round.
Yeah. So there's your nearby patrons stand up and give some space. You hear a shriek from some of the girls as they flee. The guy clutching his mangled hand punches back with his other hand and just like hits a table and he goes down.
All right, well, there's just one left.
Well, there's one guy standing, another guy laying down, and the guy standing is trying to stomp on the.
Oh, so I thought by going down, I thought you meant like unconscious going down.
No, he's been rolling ones and
okay.
breaking his own hands.
Nice. All right, so I will go up to the guy who's trying to stomp, and Frank is. I want to grab him by the throat and shove him against a wall, if possible. My strength is not that high.
Yeah,
no.
Roll the hit.
D20 plus 1. No, that's for punch. I am specialized in punching, but throat grabbing is not punching. So D20 to hit. 15.
15 to hit is enough. Roll an opposed strength check.
33.
Holy crap. All right. You grab hold of his throat. It's a pretty good sized man. You can't quite get your fingers all the way around it, but you give him a shove and blow through a chair that goes flying to the side and push him up against the nearest wall.
Okay. I glare into his eyes and say, "Not in my establishment."
Okay. Did you roll initiative?
No, I did not, but I will roll for this round. Another 13. A little bit slow.
All right. You notice things quieting down in the tavern, in the bar room.
Mm-hmm.
No one is fleeing, but everyone's sort of attention is drawn to the conflict. The guy on the floor is getting up. And actually makes a leap for you. You filthy bastard, you broke my hand! And jumps past you and, like, starts beating on the guy that you've got held against the wall, delivering a pair of punches, or a pair of strikes.
We're gonna have to do something about that.
The other guy screams, like, "Get him off of me! Get him off of me!" And wrestles against you. Roll an opposed strength check.
32.
All right, you keep him held against the wall. Is that if that's your goal?
That is my goal.
All right. Yeah. There's blood flying, but that's no sight that you're not used to. Your move, your turn.
Okay. I've had enough of this. Clearly this is not working. I let go of the guy against the wall, and I'm going to take a one-armed punch against him. Actually, can I continue to hold him, punch against him, and then make my other punch attack against the other guy, or do I have to let go if I want to make both? If I want to make two unarmed attacks?
You have to let go.
Right, but do I have to let go before I punch him?
No, you can make a punch against him held, and then let go and punch the other guy. Sure.
Awesome. So D20 plus 1. How much for holding him? 4?
I think plus 2. Or is it plus 4?
Plus 2 or 4?
I don't know. Roll and see if it matters.
19 with the 4, less with the out. So either one's a hit.
It's a hit, but not a crit either way.
Okay. And then
roll for damage.
I do D4 plus 2 damage. That D20 is a lie. It was an accident. D4 plus 2 damage. 6 damage.
That's all temporary?
Yeah.
Right. You knock it. Well, I guess it's temporary, so you don't knock any teeth out, but he falls limp in your arms. You turn and deliver a hook with your left hand to the other guy.
11.
Is a hit.
3.
Right. You catch him in the arm. He gives a shriek and clutches his shoulder.
Now,
roll initiative.
2 of you had better get the hell out of my bar. Brothel. House of worship.
Why are you hitting me? And he takes a couple of steps back. Do you allow him? What was your initiative?
My initiative is 12.
Okay. You actually don't get an attack of opportunity, right?
No,
you don't have
Frank
any...
is...
Alright, so he steps back maybe 10 feet. And it's like, whoa, stop.
Oh, wait, do I get attacks of opportunity?
I don't think, maybe under martial arts you can...
Maybe it's under martial arts. Oh, God, I don't remember. This is why we can't wait so long in between games. Martial arts, type A, it's wrestling, attacks of opportunity. Here we go. Character's unarmed and unarmored, he can make an extra attack each round with his other hand, provided it's free, without the penalties for attacking with 2 weapons. Specialized.
You need to be like a master first.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to be a master.
And when you're a master, you get
attacks of opportunity as a master. So we're waiting for level 5?
Three.
3?
3 if you saved a proficiency slot.
Yeah.
I think you get your next one at... Oh, maybe it's level 4, and you get a proficiency slot at 3?
You get a proficiency slot at 3.
Okay, so I think it's level 4 for Master.
Okay.
Maybe it's level...
No, so high mastery you need to be at least 6th. Mastery doesn't say. There's no limitations on mastery.
That's not true. I think it's level 3. So then you could master level 1, which you can't.
Oh, no, you're right. Anytime after he reaches 5th level, he can spend another proficiency slot to become a weapon master. And high mastery is at least 6th level. Okay. So we got another 4 levels to go before Frank gets +2 to hit, +1 to damage, and can unarmed strike as attacks of opportunity.
Alright. So, thanks, man. That guy was... He came at me for... out of nowhere. Oof, really saved my ass.
I glare at him.
He takes a cautious step towards you and away from you.
Get out!
Fuck you too. And he steps out of the front door, leaving you standing over the unconscious body of his rival, sparring partner.
Okay. I look
All
around
eyes
the
in
room.
are on you.
Are they both left or just the one now?
There, only one is capable of leaving you.
Oh.
You just rendered the other unconscious.
Right, I forgot about that. I grab the unconscious guy by the back of his collar and start to drag him outside.
All right, a path clears for the door.
I drag him outside and kind of around the corner of the inn so he's not just in the middle of the street. And then I rifle through his pockets for all of his money and anything else of value that he might have on him.
7 gold, 26 copper, 6 silver.
What was the gold count? 7, did you say?
7 gold, yes.
Okay, so that brings me to 23 gold. Nice. Anything else of value in there?
There's a small knife, like attached to his waist.
Okay, no.
So, like a utility knife. Clothes on his back, otherwise.
Okay. I'll leave him be.
You leave him in the gutter. You can see streams of pink and yellow and red lighting up the sky to the west.
Okay.
It's going to be a long shift.
I head back in, and I guess they don't have frozen peas, so I just order a couple more beers. I might end up being very drunk by the time this is over.
Yeah. Yeah. As you're walking back in, you see a few men brush past you, leaving. Place quiets down. For the next few hours.
Okay.
And through the night. Just before morning, you think you've dozed off. You're woken to pretty horrifying sound. You rub your eyes to see a man relieving the contents of his stomach on the floor in front of you. It's just about you and him are just about the only people still in the common room at this point.
I get up and try and walk around behind him, and then I want to kick the backs of his knees to make him collapse, and then shove his head into his own
on
sick.
his knees. He's got his hand up on a bar stool, and he's just vomiting on the floor.
Fine. Then I put my foot on his back and push him into his own sick.
Okay. He gives pretty little resistance.
And then I proceed to grab him by his
roll a
belt.
strength check.
Uh-oh. 33.
Yeah.
I'm
he
using
starts
all my good
flopping-
rolls on these checks.
He starts flopping around a little bit, but he's a big man, so you sort of got to put a little more effort into it than you expected, and you think you might have dozed off. You just sort of come into.
Shit happens. So I've thoroughly rubbed his face in his own vomit.
He
I,
doesn't give you any comprehensible reply. He makes some strange sounds.
I try and grab him by something and just drag him back out to the same spot where I dragged the other
Roll
unconscious
another
body.
strength check.
Natural 20.
Okay, you like heave him in one fell swoop out the door.
And then I search his pockets.
You're bad.
I know, I'm probably going to get kicked out for stealing all of the patrons' money, but I don't really care.
You find 1 gold, 5 silver, and 11 copper on this guy. You're
5
figuring he's probably
silver.
too broke to buy a girl, but he can buy drinks.
Alright. I walk back in, and who takes care of... Someone else takes care of puke stuff, right? I don't have to clean up puke. That's not my job.
You're not sure. There's no one around.
I'm not doing it. I head back to my spot.
Yeah, there's a young girl that usually does that sort of thing, but she's not around.
Whatever.
It's like the sky is starting to turn a little gray in the east, so it's getting towards dawn.
There's no one else
So
here,
you
no other
need-
patrons.
No, it's basically the end of your shift. If you want to get your gold, you gotta wait around maybe another hour or so to see Handsome Hans.
Frank doesn't wait for Handsome Hans to pay him. Handsome Hans should come to Frank.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
only your second day, but
Yeah, but
yesterday he waited until dawn to relieve you. You're pretty sure he's in his office. At least he was when you were awake.
well, Frank is just going to wait out the rest of his time. He'll just go back to his spot, let himself doze back off to sleep with the beer in his hands. Kind of.
All right. You're not sure how long later you're woken with as Handsome Hans backhands you across the face.
The hell was that for?
Frank,
What?
it's morning.
Yeah. Hell you slapping me for, son?
He hands you. It was 2 gold coins what you negotiated?
I think so.
Okay. He hands you 2 gold coins. It says, "And what the fuck is that? Is that you?" And he points to the puddle of vomit still on the floor a couple feet away from you.
That's that nincompoop outside. That low-down, useless devil.
Can't. It's gonna stink the whole place up. Where's that girl? And
Ain't
he
my
turns
problem.
around, keeps walking away.
And Frank gets up and heads out. Go to bed.
2 gold plus whatever loot you got, and plus 15 experience points.
Woo!
Sorry, 30 experience points.
Yes.
It's gonna take a while to farm to levels this way.
Well, that's why I was hoping just kind of like let some time slide and figure out the greater adventure. I don't want to deal with all this nickel and dime kitty shit. Boom.
All right.
Okay, so I head back to the Weary Woodsman, and I just walk back into my room if it's open.
Well, yeah, you walk across town, through the town circle, I assume, past the tree, past the meat vendors.
Oh, I go stop at the meat vendors and I get some meat on a stick.
Yeah. It's a whole rabbit on a stick.
Oh my god, I love this rabbit.
Stick, skin, but yeah. stick straight through its ass and out its mouth. Just gnaw on it like a meat popsicle. Spit out the bones in the street like a badass.
What is the establishment called, or is there no name? It's just a dude selling shit.
They can you even read?
No, Frank is illiterate. He can swim and he can fight blindly.
Yeah, you see some unrecognizable symbols and a rabbit on a stick on this on a like banner hanging off the guy's cart. You fork up 3 copper
for a rabbit. For a full rabbit on a stick.
Fucking hipsters, dude.
Dude, this place is great.
Oh wait, is that cheap?
Yeah, that's way cheap.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm so down.
Did I set the market price too low? Now it's going to be a rabbit extinction.
I think so. But maybe there's just a rabbit overabundance right now, and these are the... I mean, they breed like crazy. It's very possible. Overabundance of rabbits.
Alright, you chew on your rabbit and walk underneath the roots of the great tree.
Okay.
Yeah. See the blackened out hollow of the inside. And walk beneath its boughs. Frank doesn't strike me as a spiritual man. I don't think
he's not.
Him much.
Actually, there's one thing I'd like to do. I need to go buy another sack because I only have 2 sacks of coins. And I want to keep my coins in different sacks depending on their color. So I will go buy another sack.
You have a little bit of trouble finding a place that's open, but within an hour you track down a leather worker selling little leather bags.
Excellent. How much for another little bag?
I don't know. What does it say on PHP?
I don't know.
Money and equipment.
So what are we going to do? We're going to get our shit. And then we're going to...
Belt pouch, small, 7 silver.
7 silver? Holy shit.
It's a leather bag.
Yeah. Okay.
It'll last you a lifetime, unless you break it.
Frank heads back to the Weary Woodsman and starts thinking there's got to be a better way to make a living than being a bouncer at a brothel. Yeah. Frank is too... This is beneath him. He's got to find a better way of doing things.
So Frank's thinking these thoughts to himself, these ambitious thoughts. You lose yourself in the walk, and all of a sudden you look up and you're at the Weary Woodsman. Only something seems amiss. You see a crowd of people spilling out the door, and you're like, "What?" It's like 7 a.m. It's like the sun's just creeping up.
I approach.
There appears to be a thick crowd.
And I asked one of the guys on the outskirts, "Hey, what's going on here?"
Someone died in there. And you hear like a whisper of hush going through the crowd.
People die every day.
Not in Woodheim. This is the first time it's happened, and God, I can't even remember. My Aunt Marge died last June, and a flurry of rumors going up amongst the crowd.
But hold on. Do you mean that no one gets murdered, or that nobody dies?
Oh, well, the woods are a dangerous place, but we're safe here within our walls.
Who got murdered?
Well, the guy looks to the people beside him.
Get at him! Get at him! And I start pushing through the crowd. I just start pushing through the crowd to get to the front.
Roll a charisma check.
That is, my second highest stat.
Really?
Well, 14. Tied with strength, actually. 23.
Yeah. You force yourself through the crowd and through the doorways. Once you step into the tavern room, it's a lot. I mean, it's empty inside, basically. Mm-hmm. You see a man sitting immediately beside the door with a little bucket helmet and a blade at his side. As soon as you step in, he sort of puts a hand out in front of you. Roll a perception check.
Uh, 10. Frank is oblivious to everything.
So he says, whoa, 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 whoa.
Excuse me. I am an owner of this establishment.
He looks to the actual owner, or the manager, Clayton. And Clayton gives a shrug. And the guy sort of moves his hand aside. And then you hear, wait, how come he got in? And there's rabble from the crowd as the guard steps back in front of the door.
Clayton, what's the meaning of this? What's going on here? This is not how we build a wealthy establishment.
I don't know what to say. I got a body on my hands. You can't just dump one of these things in the street.
What, did someone get killed or someone die of natural causes here? What are we talking about?
No, he came here like that.
He came here dead?
Can't. Basically, guts hanging out.
A man stumbled up to your door, dead as a doornail, or dying on you.
It's a shrug. We got the healer here, quick as we could.
Well, can I see the body? He wouldn't ask. Show me the body.
He raises an eyebrow, but sort of gives a nod to the table beside you. And there's a blanket soaked with blood.
Didn't even notice him.
Table.
I'd lift the blanket unceremoniously.
You see a middle-aged man, ruddy brown hair and scruffy beard, dressed in burlap, except the front's just split open and stained red. At this point, his entrails have sort of loosely been replaced back in his abdominal cavity, but you can tell he probably died from those wounds.
Does it look like a weapon or like he was mauled by an animal?
It's a mess. If it was a weapon, it was like... your first thought is it was an animal.
Okay.
To do that with the blade would take some doing.
I look around to everyone else. Anyone know who he is?
You look around the room, you see Mars and the new barmaid whose name you haven't caught.
But we established that she was attractive, right? Because Frank is a dirty pig.
I think she was a step up from Mars. She was a little too slender,
Oh, that's right. Right.
Kind of
getting the dregs of the
Aqualine. Is that the word? Bird-like.
Oh, okay.
But she's attractive.
Okay.
Yeah, and there are two guards in the room. The one who confronted you at the door, and another.
Anyone know where he came from? Who he is? What he was doing? Did he say anything before he died?
Clayton looks up to you. Say anything? Nah, he's just sort of stumbled in, burbling his guts out his mouth. God, what a mess.
He walked in through the front gate? Where's this fella from? You don't know anything, do you, Clayton? I put my arm around Clayton and try and walk him to a quiet area where the guards can't, a little bit away from the guards, and then I want to whisper quietly to him. I definitely want this to be kept away from law enforcement. So pull him in the corner and then talk quietly. And I say, Clayton, you ever get a body on your hands? You talk to me. You hide it from anyone, I can make the bodies disappear. You just don't make this shit public. It's bad for business.
Public? Do you see them lining up outside?
You think they're going to come in after this? I sure hope so. If that's the case, I can have a fresh corpse here every day for you if you need.
Wait, what? No, stop. I don't need to hear any of this.
Well, just saying.
He sort of brushes you off and goes back to talk to one of the guards.
Okay. I push my way out and head to the front gate. Actually, no, I walk over to the two waitresses.
Okay.
And I say, either of you see
together on bar stools
where this man came from?
through the front door.
Anyone see him outside?
I saw his. Wait, what? See him outside?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Was anyone
we're
outside to
here.
see him come in?
Well, I don't know. We wasn't here.
When did he show up?
This is Mars responding to your question, by the way.
Yeah,
You find yourself irritated with every word.
I'll tolerate her for the time being, but she better make it quick. When did this happen?
Round about midnight.
He's been here all night? And none of you came and got me?
We didn't know where to find you.
Where do you think I am, huh? Down at the east wall.
You hear it from the Aqualine girl behind you, behind her, and Mars just sort of gives you a dumb, disdainful look.
Close your mouth, Mars.
She looks offended and then closes her mouth.
I turn around and trudge outside and make for the north gate.
You push your way through the crowd. What happened? What's in it? Did you see the body?
I did. He was mauled by a giant beast that's probably still prowling the streets right now looking for its next victim.
I heard it burrowed its way inside of him.
Exploded out
Took
from inside
control
of
his
him.
mind.
You best watch out. Your kids are next. And I push my
You
way
hear
through
it
the
shriek
crowd.
as a child flees.
I try and make my way to the north gate.
You brush your way through the small crowd and head up the road. The north gate is like 2.5 buildings over from the Weary Woodsman, and it's wide open.
I look for one of the guards.
You approach the small little booth, I think like a little ticket kiosk that's attached. It's just to the west side of the gate, just to the left of the gate from the inside. The door is open, and you look in. You see like a small stool and a little slat and a little table with some
No guard?
belongings tossed on it. No guard. It's a small, like 5x5 cube.
I poke my head outside the wall and look for a guard on the outside.
No sign of a guard.
The fuck? I examine the ground in the as the walkway into the city. Is there any blood stains, drops of blood?
Roll a perception check. You don't happen to have a tracking proficiency or anything, do you?
I wish. 26.
You see a few drops of blood scattered, like 5-10 feet from each other. There's footprints everywhere. There's deep grooves from wagons.
I push my way back to the Weird Woodsman.
You try and push your way inside.
Yeah. I'm gonna go talk to the guards there.
Roll an intelligence check.
The DM asks for that when the player is too stupid to notice something, but his character might have noticed it.
All right, you push your way back to the Weird Woodsman.
Apparently Frank is as dumb as Neil.
Crowd.
Okay. I push my way in and say, Guards! Where's the guards at the front gate?
The guy who you haven't heard a word from yet is standing next to Clayton. Tentatively raises his hand.
No, that's what I was hoping for. You see this man come in last night?
No. He must not have come past me and...
You were at the gate last night?
Perception or charisma?
Oh, charisma, totally. 19.
Yeah.
You were at the front gate last night, huh? All night long?
The north gate?
North gate? Yeah. And this man didn't come through?
Who'd you say you are?
I'm
You hear a voice
Frank,
from
and I'm
behind
asking
you.
the questions around here. Will you leave the gates open all night, or you shut them at night?
Is the we shut him. Roll another charisma check. I wanna.
27.
Yeah, you get the impression this guy's hiding things from you.
Yeah, I'm getting that impression. I walk up to him and get real close. Is he standing, sitting, kneeling, praying, lying down?
He's standing next to Clayton, leaning against a table, maybe. From time
I
to
get up
time.
close.
Now he's fully erect.
I bet he is.
With you, how do I? I'm trying to. I want to find those reaction tables.
Ooh.
In the DMG.
I have a link for them for you.
Yes. You zooming it or skyping it?
I will zoom it. Huzzah! Which now also includes encounter frequency tables.
I don't see it here. Have you updated?
Scroll to the bottom. Encounter reactions for like friendly, indifferent, threatening, hostile.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
It's about halfway down.
Yeah.
On the right.
Excuse me. Do you have any reaction adjust from your charisma?
2.
Okay. All right. So what did you ask him?
I don't remember.
Oh, do you leave the gates open at night?
Yeah.
Like no, we shut them.
So then why is there a blood trail leading through the gates? This motherfucker here walked in from outside.
Behind you. There's a blood trail.
This guy walked in through those gates last night.
There's blood. That road gets a lot of traffic. That could be anything.
I think you and I had probably had best have a conversation in the little room over here, and I try and nudge him towards the kitchen.
He doesn't. I mean, how do you nudge him?
Just kind of like get uncomfortably close to him and put my hand on him and like apply pressure.
All right. All right. He backs into the kitchen, backs towards the kitchen. You see the guard by the door sort of twitch as if he's going to make a move after you, but sees the crowd of people pushing in behind him. Stands his ground.
All right, buddy.
This kid's maybe 6 inches shorter than you. Little round cap is tilted on his head.
All right, buddy. I don't give two shits what scheme you got going on here. I don't give a shit that this man is dead. All I care about is there's body in my establishment, and you're going to be hurting my business. Look at this. Those doors are closed. Those people could be in here drinking right now. So you're going to come clean and tell me what the fuck's going on here so I don't have to break your neck.
Break.
What happened last night?
Look, I don't know, man. I dozed off on the job.
What type of armor is he wearing?
Close the gate before. Like, I just don't.
What type of armor is he wearing, Ryan?
Like some sort of padded armor.
Perfect. I want to sucker punch him in the gut. I don't. This is not including any sort of surprise.
He's not surprised, but I'll let you get a round off. Get in like an ambush round off.
Okay, so if there's no surprise bonus or held bonus or anything like that, then that's a miss. Or inconsequential blow.
Yeah. He rotates out of the way, and you swat at the air.
Dozing off on the job, and this man just stumbles through the open gate and comes to the inn instead of coming to the guard right there at the door. I don't believe you.
Roll initiative.
What happened? I say. 13. God, Frank is slow.
Still might be. You spot him reaching for his side.
Well, do I go before him?
Yeah, you do.
I don't make an attack this round. I just shout at him. What happened? Or I guess I do shout. I'm not mean. I shouldn't be shouting, but I am apparently.
Yeah, the door to the kitchen is wide open next to you.
What happened last night? Tell me the truth.
Okay. He unhooks the cudgel from his waist and clutches it in his hand. He points to, I'm going to have to ask you to calm down, sir. And he points his club menacingly in your direction.
Tell me what happened. We can all let this go away.
I told you, quit. Just don't make a fuss out of this.
Sleeping on the duty? What do they do for that? They hang you in the stockades for a week, don't they?
Stockades?
What do they... You tell me what happens or everyone's going to know that you're sleeping on the job. You're going to have a new nickname. That I can't think of right now. But it's going to be good and embarrassing. So you speak up and tell me what happened.
Roll a charisma check.
Damn it. Failure. 19.
Yeah. So you watch yourself, Cranky. And he backs out of the kitchen.
If he calls me Cranky, I let him go. But believe me, this is not the last time we're going to cross paths.
Yeah. He enters the bar room and puts his hand on his hips and starts to like casually walk towards the fireplace or something.
Okay. I head out back towards the crowd. I want to get just like to the front door where I can speak to the crowd. I want to give a speech. Or not a speech, but I want to speak to the crowd as a whole, so I want to get into the doorway.
Okay.
I bellow loudly, "Is there a huntsman amongst you? Huntsman! Are any of you hunters?"
Roll a charisma check.
21?
Grumbles, grumbles. A few people turn to you. 2 of them are women. One of them's a child.
That are claiming they're huntsmen?
No, they don't look. No, they aren't claiming anything. They give you their attention. They're like, what?
I bellow loudly.
What do you need a huntsman for? Says the kid.
I bellow loudly. There's been a murder! I need a huntsman to track down the killer!
Alright. I'll just roll a surprise for you. Alright. You're shoved from behind. And you actually go like tumbling a few feet forward. And you hear a shh. Quit your clamoring. You're going to get them all worked up. You can roll initiative if you like.
Frank would like to.
You stumble into the crowd.
Frank would like to. 6 initiative.
Bump the woman. Including weapon speed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can act first.
I go up and I double pummel whoever pushed me.
Alright, you turn around face to face with the second guard. And
12 to hit?
Pummel. 12 will hit.
Oops. Bap for 4, followed by my left hook.
Okay, yeah.
Unless he's unconscious already, but with the 17.
Yeah. He's fallen after your first punch.
Okay.
You hear a loud clang as your brass knuckles smack into the side of his helm, and he just goes down with a ring, and a wave of silence goes through the audience, through the crowd.
This man here is trying to hide the truth because he was asleep on the job last night, left the gates to the city open so any cutthroat could have come in, and this man bled to death as a result. These bastards led in murderers. Now Frank here...
Constable down!
Frank here cares about the citizens of this town and thinks your safety is the #1 priority. So, is there a huntsman amongst you that can track this trail of blood?
All right. You see the guard from on the inside of the inn timidly approaching you, clutching his cudgel in both hands.
I crack my knuckles.
The crowd, you're sort of facing the crowd, and you see this out of your peripheral.
I turn to face him, and I just give him like just a
I don't know what you're about, man, but you can just...
What? You got something to say to me? Look at
Flames
these.
will cleanse you.
I turn back to the crowd once more. A hunter, a tracker, any of you?
Nobody steps forward. They've sort of backed away, maybe about 10 feet from the door.
You said there was a kid around? A kid
lying.
nearby?
There are children in the crowd. You're
Okay.
not sure which one was next to you when I said there was one next to you.
I look for
They've all moved back at least 10 feet.
But okay, but there's still a child in near proximity that I could make eye contact with and speak directly to?
Sure.
Okay. I squat down, pull out 2 gold coins and rub them between my fingers and say, "Kid, I want you to take these 2 coins and go find a hunter, the best huntsman in town, and you tell him to meet me here as soon as possible, and that there's more gold in it for both of you." And I reach out the 2 coins to the kid.
All right. The kid hesitantly takes a few steps forward. You'd guess he's a boy of about 9. He looks... his eyes light up. Like he's never seen anything that shiny before.
Take it,
And
go find me a hunter, bring him back here,
Timothy
and you'll
takes
both
it
get rich.
and runs into the crowd.
Good. I turn back to the other constable and say, "Are you going to do something about this murder now, or are you just going to let it sit?"
This ain't a murder. This is an act of nature. That right there is a murder. And he points to the guard laying down. in the doorway.
I would like to approach him and attack him.
All right.
16?
He swings wildly with his club, and you sort of duck, bring your left hand around the side of him, punching him in the kidneys for
6 points of damage.
Jesus.
I know. Frank's a badass.
You punched him just a few minutes ago. Recovers at 1 per round. Yeah, he's still up.
No, but I missed him when I hit him last
Oh,
time.
okay.
Yeah.
You
Then I guess I have a second attack.
do.
14
It's another hit.
for 5 damage.
Yeah. All right. 1-2 punch. You crack him in the ribs. The lung or the air flushes out of his lungs, and he stumbles forward, slumping over a table.
Okay.
What the fuck, Frank? Says Clarence beside you. Clayton beside you.
These low-down lawmen are
First a
involved in
body
this
and
murder.
now two unconscious guards. They'll chase me from the city. They're gonna burn me on a spike.
You ain't not part of this whatsoever. It's all coming back to Frank. You're
Sure
safe.
hope so. I don't want to be there burning next to you.
No one's gonna burn no one. Now these guards are lazy motherfuckers. By his own admission, he fell asleep and left the city gate open all night long. Now if someone's willing to admit to that, they're probably involved in a lot more shit. This motherfucker here, this dead guy, I say pointing to the corpse, walked in right through the city gates, came straight to your door. Now, you think if a man was dying like that, he wouldn't go to the guard at the gate? Mm-mm. Something's going on. These guys are involved. It's suspicious as fuck. Now, only problem is we got a whole bunch of witnesses to this shit. So,
The front door is wide open.
you keep
An
yelling at me.
unconscious guard blocking the doorway, and one more in the middle of the tap room.
I drop my voice and say, you keep yelling at me like you're mad at me. Make it good. Make it look like you're actually mad. And you'll
I am
stay clear
actually
after.
mad, Frank.
Good.
Got 3
That's the
bodies
spirit.
on my hand.
You keep it up.
The time it takes to get rid of the first 2 more piles. What the hell were you thinking?
I step back outside, and I rifle through the guard's possessions. I don't take anything yet, but I rifle through. I look for anything that looks out of place. Correspondence, unusual coins, unusual amounts of coins, objects that look too valuable.
No coin purse. No, I mean this guy. Which guard are you rifling through first?
The last one I hit.
Yeah, the one that's inside on the table. Yeah. No coins. He's got a club that he's dropped, a knife, his armor, his helm.
I leave all the stuff where it is, and I search the other one that's inside.
Same situation, except this one has a short sword in addition. So you bring him inside.
No, the other one that was inside.
Wait, so you go to the door. Okay, so you start rifling through. You pat this guy down in the doorway.
Yeah. Okay, so none of the guards have anything suspicious on them.
No, like clothes, armor.
I search the body of the deceased.
He has nothing on him. You notice he's not wearing any shoes.
I look at the soles of his feet.
They look in decent shape. Not particularly dirty or anything.
Any weapons?
No.
I look at his hands. Are they calloused? Do they look like he works with them a lot?
Quite calloused. Cranky Frank, private investigator.
I open up his shirt and I start looking over him. Does he have cuts, scars, wounds? I examine the skin.
Yeah, he's got scratches pretty much over most of his body, or at least like his arms.
Like wound scratches?
No, they look old. The only fresh wound is his belly.
Yeah, I meant wound like scar tissue, like scar scratches.
No, more like he's been rolling through some brambles or something.
Can you describe the fitness of this character? Is he in good shape and mediocre shape?
Middle-aged man. He's in reasonably lean. Yeah, decent shape.
Clothes are poor, wealthy, nice.
Low quality. I mean, decent quality, but not, burlap.
Frank is starting to think to himself, maybe his conspiracy theories are all wrong and this guy was just a farmer who got killed out in the woods. Can't admit to that, though. All right, I'm going to wait around for the kid to come back with a hunter, and we should take our first break.
Sounds good.
All right.
See you guys
on the other side.
Other side?
Yeah. All right, bye-bye.